My wife and I work at the same marketing company. Lucy is a customer relations representative. Don't ask me what that entails, because I still don't really understand what she does other than talk to customers. I'm Mark, and I'm the head of the IT department. Our life was going very well. We had jobs, we were happy, we were successfully renovating the house we had bought to fix up, and we had two wonderful children, Emma, 13, and Daniel, 11. We lived close to our families and had a close circle of friends. We are both in our 30s and are well suited to each other, although she definitely wins on the looks front. She is 5 feet 9 inches, with long blonde hair and beautiful blue eyes. Lucy claims to have Swedish roots, and she does look like a tall Scandinavian. She is intelligent and lively, never sitting still. I am 7.5 centimeters taller, have sandy hair, and prefer endurance sports such as cycling and running, so I am slim and fit, but not in the sense that I go to the gym. I was surprised when I was invited to spend a long weekend on a private island owned by one of our firm's clients. Jack Edwards, our executive director, explained that he and his wife Margaret were going with a couple of directors and their partners. Lucy was invited because she was the client's main contact person. It seemed like I was just there to make up the numbers, but as they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Jack went on to explain that the client was wealthy and easily considered our firm's largest customer, that we would be flying out on Friday morning and returning on Monday in a private jet, and that everything would be provided for us. Lucy knew all about it when I mentioned it on the way home. She had been working with this client for several months, seemed very impressed, and was looking forward to the free weekend. Lucy explained that the client was William Fellows, who she believed was in his 40s, handsome, and exuded confidence. She seemed a little in love when she described him as influential and reserved, among other things. Great, I thought to myself. He sounds like a real arrogant jerk, but maybe I'll keep my observations to myself until the end of the weekend. 2 weeks later, on Friday morning, we found ourselves on a private plane. I have to say I was impressed. If the whole island belonged to him, he must have been absolutely wealthy. I don't know what I was expecting, but the island seemed huge, maybe 5 miles long and a couple of miles wide, judging by what we could see as we landed. It looked like a 5-star resort, with the main building set back from a white sandy cove that formed a perfect crescent. Lucy was beside herself with excitement, and the rest of us were right behind her. We were shown to our rooms, and then we went to have dinner with our host on the veranda overlooking the cove. I wanted not to like him, but William seemed like a reasonable man. Lucy had even understated his appearance. He looked a little like George Clooney. He thanked us all for coming and told us to make ourselves at home. The only other people on the island were the staff and security guards who were circling somewhere in the distance. I began to wonder if William had enemies that required him to have security even on a deserted island. William greeted Lucy like an old friend, and they seemed very comfortable in each other's company. She and the others seemed to agree with everything he said. This was natural, considering that he was an extremely generous host and our most valuable client. We spent a wonderful day snorkeling, paddleboarding, and generally having fun in the bay. We were constantly treated to free drinks and food, and later we all had dinner together. The atmosphere was friendly and relaxed, and we split into small groups. We chatted with 3 other couples from our firm and met William's wife, a stunning brunette named Jennifer. Jennifer came over and introduced herself. She was charming and told us about her childhood in England. From the way she spoke, it was clear that she came from a wealthy family, but she seemed genuinely nice. I wondered if she was a model or didn't need to work. To my surprise, she was quite flirtatious, even in front of Lucy. I managed to brush it off politely, explaining it away as excessive friendliness. No children, time to relax, and an idyllic location, the perfect conditions for a romantic evening. Lucy was particularly passionate, and we made love with great intensity, and she repeatedly declared her love for me. It was the best night I'd had in a long time. Maybe there was something to the idea of a love island after all. I hoped it would happen again in the morning, but Lucy quickly took a shower and hurried to breakfast. I finally dragged myself out of bed and caught up with her as she was talking to Jack and William. I assumed they were discussing work, as both Jack and Lucy looked a little tense. Perhaps William was doing some schmoozing and using the weekend to push them toward something work-related. The conversation broke off when I approached, and after a quick bite to eat, we went to enjoy the pool with the rest of the group. The day quickly became annoying, with William monopolizing all of Lucy's attention. She was laughing constantly, and there was a lot of friendly touching and glances between them. This continued for most of the morning. I was about to intervene when Jennifer grabbed my arm and suggested we take a walk on the beach. Soon she struck up a conversation. "Mark, I believe you understand what's going on. William is very interested in Lucy." "Yes, I figured." "Well, your wife doesn't seem to mind. They talked about it before the trip, and her behavior this morning confirms it." "And what are you going to do to convince that simpleton of a husband to give his consent?" "Why should I do that?" "There are several reasons. William will offer you financial compensation, and Lucy will have an unforgettable experience." "Well, good for them, but we're married. We swore to love each other and never cheat." "Don't be such a stick in the mud. It's just a fun adventure, Mark. Lucy has been resisting William's advances for months. Not many people get to go to that island. She has proven her devotion to you and categorically refused to cheat on you. William is no threat. She clearly loves you." "You won't convince me." Jennifer remained unperturbed and smiled. "Well, then I hope the last argument will be the most compelling. You'll get me." "Out of pity?" "Not at all. I really like you. In fact, I love you very much. You're funny and pleasant. I allowed William to continue after our meeting yesterday." "Do you like him, Jennifer, or are you just giving in to William's desires?" For the first time, I saw her hesitate and lose some of her openness and confidence. "We agreed, and I agree to our terms." "Really? So you like changing partners? Having lots of different men?" Her eyes flashed with anger. "No, there aren't that many. It doesn't happen often. William usually arranges his extra connections without my support." "You don't sound very happy. I'm not sure I want to sleep with someone who might not want to." Jennifer regained her confidence. "Lucy won't be the only one who enjoys this experience, Mark, I can assure you. You'll have all of me, not half, not against my will and not reluctantly. We wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't like you." We continued talking, and I found that I liked her. She was engaging, confident, and elegant. I asked her about William and their relationship. She admitted that he had initiated the affair and that their current understanding, though not perfect, allowed them to remain married. She sometimes took advantage of the extra benefits, as her relationship with William was far from ideal. As long as it was consensual, she considered it acceptable. I asked if it had always been mutual, and she admitted that some husbands had been pressured a little, but to her knowledge, no couple had broken up. On Saturday, we went out to dinner. Lucy dressed up and looked stunning in a red satin evening gown and strappy shoes. After dinner, William asked if we could leave him alone with Jennifer for a few minutes. We agreed and followed him into his study, with the security guard behind us. William sat down in a leather armchair with a high back, and I sat down on the sofa opposite, noticing that Lucy was sitting a little way away from me. After a long pause, William began. "I understand that Jennifer has told you about our proposal, Mark." He paused again, perhaps waiting for a reaction, then continued. "Over the past few months, I have had the pleasure of working with Lucy and getting to know her better, and it has been simply wonderful. We get along very well and have built an excellent relationship." He continued casually. "As a result, I have a proposal. I would like to spend the rest of the weekend with Lucy. Of course, I would be happy to compensate you for the time she would have spent with you, and to that end, I have transferred $100,000 to your joint account." The cheeky bastard. He'd already transferred the money. "I assure you, Your wife is fully supportive of this idea. Besides, Jennifer has nothing to do, and we'd be delighted if you kept her entertained. What's wrong with that? We'll all have a great time, and you'll get a significant amount of money." I turned to Lucy, who looked worried. "Maybe it would be interesting for both of us to try it with other people. William and I like each other, but it's nothing more than that. It doesn't change our love for each other. I'm sure you and Jennifer would have fun, too." Jennifer came over, hugged me, and said everything would be fine. I decided that since things had turned out this way, I wouldn't waste any time, and took Jennifer upstairs, leaving William and Lucy in a state of mild shock. William probably wanted to get his hands on Lucy as soon as possible, but he had to entertain the guests a little longer. I took her to our bedroom and kissed her. It was nice, even unusual. The kisses became more passionate and intense. Lucy laughed. I saw that you really enjoyed it." I turned to him. "Why do you need this advice? Do you like to control or get pleasure from taking someone else's wife? Either way, it makes you a pathetic bastard. God, you're 48 years old and you're acting like a child who steals toys because he can. Well, we'll show you what it's like to be a cuckold." Lucy smiled. "That's right, William. We'll show you by making love to your wife while you, my little cuckold, watch." His eyes widened, and he tried to say something through the gag, but all that could be made out was an indistinct "we." "Lucy didn't tell you she likes women. In fact, it was the photo of Jennifer on your desk that made us come to the island. You've been trying to seduce my wife for months. You wouldn't have resorted to a swap if she'd given in sooner, so now we have the opportunity to seduce your wife." After that, we left them alone and wondered how it would all end, half expecting security to kick us out and make us return the money. Lucy turned to me. "Do you feel guilty?" "No, it's like community service, keeping these two occupied and away from respectable married couples. At least he'll think twice before doing that again." "Do you think they'll want us to leave?" "I don't know. She obviously enjoyed it. But who knows how they'll feel when they sober up, and William has a lot to think about. Remember, she has all the money. It's all from her family." The next morning, we got up, got dressed, and went to the dining room. When we entered, everyone fell silent. Lucy went to the kitchen to ask for poached eggs. There was a buzz of conversation. I heard comments about everything being fine, and it doesn't matter. Then the CFO, John Kazans, and his wife came over to us. "Listen, Mark, we've all been through this. Just forget about it. It's not personal. He's seeing other women, but he's moving on and he's very generous." When he said that, I noticed his wife's neck turn red. I looked around, and all eyes were on me, some expectantly, others clearly amused by the scene. Everyone knew what was going to happen before the weekend even started. At least that's what they believed. At that moment, William and Jennifer appeared. She looked content and happy. I would describe her as glowing. I noticed that William sat down awkwardly, probably still feeling the pain from Lucy's cane. Jennifer whispered to William, and I noticed that she was still wearing the necklace around her neck. I turned to the group and said, "I understand that this weekend has been planned for a long time, and you all knew about it, so I think it's only fair that you all hear what I have to say." Everyone looked shocked and glanced nervously at each other. "Jack and Margaret, I never believed you could conspire in something so despicable. You know and approve of what he does, like some kind of sick voyeur fan club. I hope you enjoyed setting me up, but things didn't go as you expected." They began to shift nervously in their seats. This was clearly not part of their plan. "We all know that William was planning to seduce Lucy. She told me everything from day one. The thing is, we're in an open relationship, and we may have agreed to spend time with William and Jennifer, but £100,000 is a nice bonus. Because of his arrogance, we decided to change the situation a little and not let Lucy have William so he wouldn't waste his money. Another change in the plan is that we were in control of everything that happened last night. Now our host can choose, continue on the same terms, or end the relationship." I saw Jennifer blush. but she squeezed William's hand so tightly that her knuckles turned white. "So you want us to stay, Jennifer?" Jennifer nodded, and William tried to pretend he was still in charge. "You are our guests, and we would be delighted if you stayed." "Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that you expected me to be a stupid cuckold, but that's not the case. In fact, I believe we can be of great service to others by not allowing this to happen again." Lucy placed another collar on the table and looked at William. Without a word, he put it on and fastened it. "Good boy." Lucy kissed him on the cheek, and he looked happy. "Excuse us, we need to talk to the owners." I opened the door, and the four of us went out into the garden. "Okay, we'll stay if you agree that we're in charge here." They both nodded. For the first time, I saw William falter and look uncertain. Jennifer took the initiative. "We've discussed it, and William has agreed. Now it's my turn to manage our relationship. After all, it's my family's money that supports the business and pays for all this." Lucy looked sternly at Jennifer. "And who manages your relationship?" Jennifer's eyes widened. "Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I prefer madam, but never mind. Now run upstairs, put on your sexiest lingerie. We'll be there in a minute. Oh yes, Jennifer. Mark loves it when women wear stockings. Never forget that." Jennifer hurried away, and Lucy turned to William. "Want to go swimming, William?" William finally found his voice. "Can I stay with you, Lucy?" She smiled sweetly at him. "Oh, we can play for a while. Mark's the boss here, and he'll take care of both me and your wife. Now run along." I couldn't believe it. He just walked away. I wondered if Jennifer's submission meant a complete reversal in their relationship and power dynamics. Lucy wasn't a real dominatrix, but she played the role so well that I wondered if there was something dormant in her. Definitely, her interest in other women, at least in Jennifer, had been rekindled. We smiled at each other, clearly looking forward to the next session with Jennifer. We had a few more sessions before our time on the island came to an end. Lucy continued to torment William, teasing him endlessly. We knew it was temporary, and that William would eventually break down. It happened quickly, almost immediately after we returned from the island. His power over others was broken. He struggled with no longer being the boss in his marriage and business relationships. Soon, his family replaced him as CEO. Despite attempts to stay together for financial reasons, William and Jennifer divorced. William disappeared, receiving a substantial settlement. At least we didn't let him go after other married women. By the way, Jennifer mentioned another week on the island. Lucy reminded her not to forget the collar and stockings. This was a clear departure from the original proposal.